Now, class 6, The Way of the Jungle 2. Meanwhile, I completed the chapter 29, that is The Way of Jungle 1. Now, no sooner had the huntsman gone that the tiger began to struggle to be free. You have tied me too tight. Let me out, he growled. So the grass cutter lifted the load from his head and placed it under a tree. When he had united the ropes, the tiger sprang out. So the huntsman came in front of the in front of the grass cutter and asked about the tiger. We know that the grass cutter denied that he had not seen the tiger. Now the huntsman gone. Then the tiger began to struggle to the tiger wanted to become free, to make himself free. Now, and he asked the grass cutter, you have tied me. That the grass cutter had tied him too tight and let him out. Let the tiger be out. The grass cutter lifted the load from his head and placed it under a tree. Now, when he had united the ropes, the tiger sprang out. You are a wicked man, the tiger said to the grass cutter that he was a wicked man. You lied to because why the grass cutter was a wicked man according to the tiger? Because the huntsman, because the grass cutter had lied to the huntsman. He said that he had not seen. He didn't see the the tiger. Because so the tiger said that that the grass cutter was a liar. So the tiger should punish the grass cutter. I lied to save your life, cried the unhappy man. The huntsman had come out to shoot you, and I protected you. The grass cutter was surprised and he said that, yes, I lied, but the reason is I wanted to save your life. The huntsman wanted to shoot you. The tiger paid no heed to what the grass cutter said. You are a fine fat man. I shall kill you and eat you, he snarled. The tiger did not listen to the huntsman, to the grass cutter, and said that you were a very fat man. That is, the grass cutter was a very fat man, and so the tiger wanted to eat the grass cutter. But you promised to treat me as you treat your father and your mother, said the grass cutter. But the grass cutter said that you cannot overcome your promise. You cannot, you cannot deny your promise. You said that if the grass cutter would be able to save the life of the tiger, then the tiger would treat the grass cutter as his father and mother. I care not for promises, answered the tiger. That is the way of the jungle. The tiger say, oh, I didn't care. I didn't care for the promise. This is the rule of the jungle, not to care of the promise. But it is not the way of the world, replied the grass cutter. With us it is good for evil. Now, then the a grass cutter said that, but the world, this is not the rule of the world. We cannot deny our promise. We should always try our best to keep our promise. It is not so in the jungle, snapped the tiger. With us, it is evil for good. Now, But the tiger said, no, it is not the rule of the jungle. The rule of the world we cannot is not applicable to the rule of the jungle. In the jungle, it is always evil for good. Alas, alas, sighed the tree, the tiger is right, and you are wrong. See what a pleasant shade I cast around me. How cool it is for tired travelers to rest and eat their bread, and yet when they have rested and are refreshed, they look up and say, if this tree were cut down, it would make fine boxes and strong beds. Then because they were their conversation was going on just under a tree. That hearing the conversation in between the grass cutter and the tiger, the tree said that said to the grass cutter, you were that the grass cutter was wrong and the tiger was right, because I gave shade and made the air so cool. So many tired travelers took rest and took their eat and ate their bread, and when they have rested, they took rest and they are refreshed, they look up and say, if this tree were cut down after taking rest, after refreshing their body and mind, they always used to look up and used to say that if we were able to cut the tree, we would made fine boxes and strong beds with the woods of the tree. Ah, now that you have heard what the tree has said, you see that I am right, growled the tiger. I am an honorable tiger, and I must keep to the way of the jungle folk. Then the tiger said, look, look what the tree is, the tree had said just now. And so the tiger said that he was right and the grass cutter was wrong. The grass cutter was not going to give in, so he said calmly, what can a tree know? Its head is of wood. Let us first ask the advice of yonder herd of buffaloes. Then the grass cutter said, okay, let us ask the over there, over yonder, over there, a group of buffaloes. Let us go there and ask the group of buffaloes. The tiger agreed, so he and the man made their way towards the buffaloes. The tiger agreed, and so the grass cutter and the tiger went towards the buffaloes. They spoke to an old she buffalo who was grazing apart. They first spoke to an old she buffalo, that is, female buffalo. She looked up and listened when they began their story. The female old buffalo looked up, that is, looked towards the grass cutter and the tiger, and listened their story, which told how the man had hidden the tiger in his load of grass and how he had lied to save the tiger's life. The female old buffalo listened all the story how the grass cutter had hidden the tiger in his load of grass and how he had lied to save the tiger's life, and how the tiger had promised to treat the grass cutter, and just when the grass cutter was going to save the life, how the tiger promised that what the tiger promised to treat the grass cutter as his own father and mother. The old she buffalo shook her head. All those buffaloes you see grazing around me are my children and my grandchildren. The old she buffalo, the old female buffalo, shook her head and said, all those buffaloes grazing around me are all her children and grandchildren. All these buffaloes used to drink the milk of the old female buffalo when they were young. The old she buffalo used to protect them. Now they are becoming strong, and the she buffalo becoming weak and old. Now they used to hurt the she buffalo with their horns and used to push the she buffalo when they were becoming angry. And now they did not allow the she buffalo to graze near them. The tiger is right, it is always evil for good. So the tiger, the she buffalo said that yes, it is good, always evil for good. And the tiger, what the tiger is telling, it is right. Surely you see now that I speak the truth, my brother, said the tiger. Come, I am hungry. Hearing this, hearing the worst fuss of the tree, then the buffaloes, now the tiger said, my brother, addressing the grass cutter as brother, the tiger said, come, and let me eat you, because I am very hungry. Wait, cried the grass cutter, who was now sorry that he had not left the tiger to the huntsman, who would have shot him. Let us seek the advice of yet a third judge. Again the tiger agreed, feeling certain that the advice would be the same. Now the grass cutter said, okay, we listened already the judgment of the tree, and then the judgment of the buffalo sheep, old female buffalo. Let us take the judgment of the third person, of a third member of the jungle. Then the tiger agreed, because the tiger said that the third one's opinion would be the same like the first and the second one. At this moment, a jackal peeped out of the jungle. At that time, a jackal peeped out of the jungle. Oh, jackal, they both cried, give judgment between us. Now, they both cried, looking at the jackal. They both cried. Both means the tiger and the grass cutter. No, jackal, please give us the judgment. The tiger explained the case. On what you say depends my dinner and this man's life, he added. The tiger, after explaining the whole incident, in the conclusion, the tiger added that according to your judgment, my dinner depends on your judgment, and the life of the grass cutter also depends on your judgment. When the jackal heard of the quarrel, he pretended to look very wise, and as is the manner of this tribe, he decided on a cunning trick. The jackal heard of the quarrel in between the tiger and the grass cutter. And we know, all of my students, we always know that the jackals are very cunning. They always had several tricks in their mind. So the jackal had very instantly a trick came to the mind of the jackal. How can I believe this story? He asked. The jackal said, it was not possible for me to believe, for him to believe the story. He turned to the tiger and said, unless I see you hidden in the load of grass, so that I may be sure that you are speaking the truth, it is impossible for me to give judgment. Now, the jackal said to the tiger, he turned towards the tiger and said that if you are not able to again hide yourself in the load of grass? I can't. The jackal said it was not possible for the jackal to believe the story. The tiger, who was hungry and anxious for his meal, ordered the grass cutter to show the jackal exactly how he had been hidden. The tiger was becoming very hungry, so he did not want to waste any time. So within a very short time, that is very hurriedly, that he used to hide within the within the load of the grass. He told the grass cutter to open the load of grass again, and the tiger crept in just like before and was tied up inside. Now, then said the judge, when the tiger crept in and just like before and was tied up inside, then said the judge, I see now that you have spoken the truth, and as evil for good is the way of the jungle. I command this man to throw you into the deepest part of the river so that you may be drowned. Then then came the judgment of the judge. Here the third judge was the jackal. He said that now, okay, now I believe that the jackal said that he believed that the tiger had spoken the truth. Now, and as the rule of the jungle was evil for good, so he commanded the grass cutter to throw the tiger into the deepest part of the river so that the tiger might be drowned. This was the grass cutter did joyfully. Now this verdict of the third judge made the grass cutter very joyful, and that was the end of the honorable tiger. So that in this way came the end of the honorable tiger. Okay, my student, this is the end of the story. Next day, question answer and few word meaning. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.